Jerry Rice, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, talked about the future of the 49ers quarterback room after months of rumors about what will happen with the team's quarterbacks. Why does Jerry Rice think Trey Lance will be great? Stay tuned until the end of the video and let us all find out. But before tuning in, we would love it if you'd click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell for more updates and videos like this one. Before diving into the topic, we'll talk first about some facts about Jerry Rice. Did you know that Jerry Rice did something that changed the NFL world? Jerry Rice has nearly every major receiving record in the NFL, including most catches, 1,549, receiving yards, 22,895, and TD catches. He is often called the best receiver of all time, 197. Rice has caught more balls than any other receiver by at least 400. The NFL Network's The Top 100 NFL's Greatest Players just put Jerry Rice at the top of the list. During his 20 years in the NFL, Jerry Rice was chosen for the Pro Bowl 13 times and named an All-Pro 11 times. He played for the San Francisco 49ers and won 3 Super Bowl rings. He also won an AFC championship with the Oakland Raiders. Rice says, "They didn't just come to you. If you wanted to ride, you chased them down." So, the Rice brothers would go back and forth through fields and then ride bareback once they caught the horses. Jerry Rice was an all-state end and defensive back in high school, and he also sometimes played running back and quarterback. Even though about 40 NCAA Division IA schools were interested in Rice, none gave him a scholarship. They didn't offer a scholarship 20 miles away at Mississippi State. But Archie Cooley, the coach of Ida Bena, Mississippi's Division IAA Mississippi Valley State University, knew about Rice. "No one else came to see me in person," Rice says of Cooley. Jerry took the scholarship from MVSU because it was his only offer and because his older brother Tom told him to. He moved to Ida Bena in 1981. Jerry Rice made a big difference right away on his college team. He quickly got the nickname World because he could catch any ball. In college, he caught a total of 51 touchdown passes. In 1984, when Mississippi Valley State averaged over 59 points per game, he caught an average of 10 passes per game. During that season, the AP named him an All-American, and he came in 9th place in the voting for the Heisman Trophy. Later, the school's football stadium was named Rice-Totten Stadium in honor of Rice and quarterback Willie Totten. They threw Rice many touchdown passes at Mississippi Valley State. In particular, the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys were interested in Jerry Rice because of how well he did in college football. On April 30th, 1985, the day of the draft, the 49ers made several trades to make sure they got Jerry Rice before the Cowboys did. By taking Jerry Rice with the 16th overall pick in the first round, San Francisco got a wide receiver they would love for many years. Rice showed what was to come when he caught 49 passes for 927 yards and 3 touchdowns as a rookie, averaging 18.9 yards per catch. He also ran the ball 6 times and scored 1 touchdown. In 1986, Rice had a great season that may have been the start of the best stretch ever for a receiver in the NFL. That year, he caught 86 passes for 1,570 yards, which was the most in the league. He also had 15 touchdown catches, which was the most in the NFL. It was the first 11 straight seasons in which Rice had more than 1,000 yards. In 9 of the next 10 seasons, he also received more than 10 touchdowns. Rice set an NFL record the following year by catching 22 touchdown passes in one season. In 1990, he was the NFL leader in receptions with 100. In the first 4 years, he caught 100 passes. It was the first of 2 times that Rice won a title. Rice was the only wide receiver in NFL history to play over 20 years. By the time he retired after playing for Oakland and Seattle, he had the most impressive career numbers by any wide receiver in NFL history. At his retirement, the NFL record and fact book said that Rice held 38 NFL records, such as 1,549 receptions, 22,895 yards, and 197 touchdowns for his career. Rice called NFL games as a commentator, and in 2006, he came in 2nd place on the TV show Dancing with the Stars. In 2010, he was placed into the NFL Hall of Fame. Jerry Rice played with Joe Montana for 6 years and with Steve Young for 9. So the Hall of Fame receiver knows a few things about how a good quarterback should play. Rice talked with NFL Network's MJ Acosta Ruiz on NFL Total Access about Jimmy Garoppolo's future in San Francisco and Trey Lance's status as a starter. He says that the 49ers need to find out what will happen by the start of the season so they can move on from the uncertainty. Rice has spent the last few days praising Trey Lance and saying that the second-year quarterback for the 49ers is going to do big things. Rice knows when he sees a good quarterback. He thinks that Trey Lance, who will start at quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers this season, will do well in the NFL and Kyle Shanahan's offense. Jerry Rice stated, "I think he's ready to go, and I think he's incredible because he has that one aspect that Jimmy doesn't have, and that's the threat of running with the ball and stuff like that. So his mobility, his strong arm, and this guy, he's before his time. He has that strong arm, he had that mobility, he can throw the ball deep, but he brings a dimension to the game where he's able to extend plays, so defensive coordinators are going to have to plan for that. The sky's the limit for him, to be honest. I was shooting a commercial with him and I was running routes for him. It didn't take me long to be on the same page with him. He's got that rocket arm, but he's also got that mobility and that vision where he can extend plays and throw the ball downfield. So I'm sure with repetitions on the field, the player's really just building around him. He's going to have a successful year this year." Lance was picked 3rd overall in the NFL draft of 2021, with the idea that he would be the 49ers QB of the future. But as a rookie, he didn't get to play much, and when he did, it didn't go too well. So he spent his first year learning and gaining experience as the backup quarterback. At the same time, Garoppolo led the 49ers despite injuries to the NFC Championship. But Lance has been practicing for a year. Garoppolo just had major shoulder surgery, so most people think Garoppolo's time with San Francisco is over. It's time for Lance to take over as the starting quarterback. Based on what he has seen, Rice said that Lance is ready to step up and take over as QB. Lance has only started 2 games in the NFL and only completed 59.6% of his passes. However, Rice said he saw potential in Lance's game when they worked out together, and he thinks if his teammates keep supporting him and he gets a little more practice, he'll be able to do well in Week 1. Last season, Garoppolo completed 68.3% of his passes for 3,810 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. He had a passer rating of 98.7 and led the league in yards per completion, 12.7. Since Week 10, he was 2nd in the league in completion rate, 71.1%, and 4th in passer rating, 103.6. He was 2nd in the NFL with 8.64 yards per try. The 49ers are taking a chance by switching from Garoppolo to Lance. Garoppolo's .702 win percentage is 4th best among active quarterbacks behind Patrick Mahomes' .794, Tom Brady .769, and Lamar Jackson .755. Only Mahomes has a better winning percentage on the road than Garoppolo. Even though Rice likes Lance, he thinks Shanahan should let him and Garoppolo compete for the job if Garoppolo is still on the team. Rice's final message stated, "Let them compete. Bill Walsh always opened the door for competition. Let them compete, and the best guy should be the starter." So what do you think? Will Trey Lance not disappoint Jerry Rice in the next games? Let me know your thoughts and comment down below.